Chevra, welcome back to the Daily Dose. Finishing tough. Tama ani im yesh bador hazeh shemekabel tochacha sheyodea lehochiach. I'd be astonished. I'd be in wonder if there was someone in this generation that knows how to accept rebuke and can give rebuke. And we know that this is based on a pasuk hocheach tochiach es amisecha v'lo tisa alav chet. You shall rebuke your fellow and don't bear a sin on their account. So on one level, that means that we as Jews are all responsible for each other. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh bazeh. And we have a mutual responsibility, one for the other. I mean, the pandemic can't teach us this lesson, more than that, right? Let's say you have someone who's already immune, who's not immune, who's worried, who's not worried. This person's worried, this person's more worried. So what do? You have to have derech eretz. You have to be responsible for the other person. Well, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but my actions impact someone else, right? So that's the idea of mutual responsibility. You shouldn't bear a sin on their account, meaning that if you have the ability, and we'll talk about this in another pikam, if you have the ability to exert your influence over someone, depending on sort of your station and their station, then you should say something, right? You should say something because you love them, you care about them, and we're all in this together. You shouldn't bear sin on their account. However, says Rashi, says the Gemara, but you have to do it right. V'lo tisa alav chet, right? You have to rebuke your fellow, but don't bear a sin on their account, meaning do it right. Don't embarrass them. Don't shame them. Don't tell them something that it's impossible for them to hear, because who's that going to help, right? We know that there are certain times where it's better to stay quiet if we can't do it the right way, or even if we do it the right way, but we know the person's not going to listen, you're better to stay quiet. Why? Because this way at least the person is doing whatever it is they're doing inadvertently without knowing what really the case is, and versus doing it b'mezid versus doing it intentionally. And that's what the Gemara is saying here. I wonder, I'd be astonished if there's anyone that can accept rebuke. We know how it feels to accept rebuke. We hate accepting rebuke, let's be honest. I know I could speak for myself personally, right? We don't love it, but if we're smart, right, we have our ears and our eyes open and our hearts open, we recognize, wait a minute, this is for my own good. I have something to learn from this. But that's one thing. To be able to accept rebuke is hard enough, says the Gemara. But to be able to give rebuke is even harder. You know why? Because, again, the Gemara somewhere else says that you have to be totally above board, right? You can't be the pot calling the kettle black. You have to be above board before you can go ahead and rebuke others. And I think that's the lesson, really, that the Gemara is trying to say. You know what? Yes, rebuke's okay. You're a parent, you're a this, you're a that. You gotta, speak to the people that you love in a certain kind of way and educate them and do it the right way. But on the other hand, worry about yourself before you're worrying about others. And the truth is, if we spend that much time on ourselves, we probably won't even have time to worry about the others. Too often we worry about the others and we forget about what's going on inside ourselves. Maybe we can rebuke ourselves internally through introspection and make ourselves better people. And hopefully people can follow the example that we set. Have a great day.